Some say the Lo Ting is just a white dolphin, but is that really the truth? Could there be more to the legend than meets the eye? I'm Kim, and this is Hung Channel.
You might be familiar with various legends from Hong Kong, but did you know that there was once a creature similar to a mermaid living in its waters, known as the Lo Ting? This mysterious being is mentioned in ancient texts, but most people are unaware of its existence. Today, we're going to uncover the forgotten legend of the Lo Ting and reveal the truth behind this elusive creature lurking beneath the waters of Hong Kong. Are you ready to discover this little-known story? Chapter 1. They said it was just a white dolphin. The sea at night has a way of blurring vision. Anyone who has taken a night ferry knows the feeling. When the engine hum stays constant and the surface of the water becomes nothing but churned white foam, it can feel as if something beneath the sea is following the boat. For many years, scattered stories have circulated in the waters south of Lantau Island, around Tai O, Sok Koo Wan, and the outer waters of Chung Chou. There were no official reports, no headlines, only quiet exchanges among fishermen, boat operators, and divers. Some claimed that during night voyages, they had seen a shadow alongside the hull, moving at the same speed as the boat, yet leaving no spray. Others said that while light diving, in waters with almost no visibility, they glimpsed a human-like outline beneath the surface, gone in an instant. Some even said that from the shore, at night, amid the surging waves, they saw a bag, a contour that did not belong to any known marine creature. "It must have been a white dolphin." That sentence, repeated over and over, functioned like a full stop. The conversation ended there. White dolphins are protected. They have a scientific name, research papers, and documented records. And so those who had seen something chose to believe that explanation. No one wanted to think further. No one wanted to speculate. Chapter 2. What the ancient text recorded was not a monster. The name Lo Ting was not a modern invention nor a contemporary ghost tale. It appeared repeatedly in historical records from the Tang, Song, Ming, and Qing dynasties. Texts such as Ling Biu Luk Yi, Tan Ha Guan Wok Lei Beng Shu, Guang Dong San Yu, and Ling Nam Chung Seok all describe with minor variations the same kind of existence. Beings who lived around the Daikai Mountain region, modern-day Lantau Island, adept at swimming, human yet not human, dwelling wherever water flowed. Lo Ting belong to the human category. They are viviparous, with yellow eyes and short hair. They dwell in the sea and feed on fish and shrimp. Only the mouths have a small tail at the back, over an inch long, and can remain submerged in water for 3 or 4 days without dying. One frequently quoted line reads, "All offspring are born naked and are called Lo Ting." On the surface, this seems like a physical description, but its deeper meaning is a declaration of identity. These children, from the moment they were born, were not considered part of human civilization. They wore no clothes not because of poverty, but because they were deemed not to need them. In the eyes of the writers, they did not belong to humanity. The ancient texts describe Lo Ting as unable to speak human language, only able to laugh, fleeing at the sight of people and diving into the water, having scorched yellow hair and darkened skin. Rather than describing monsters, these repeated details served a single purpose: to emphasize difference. And throughout history, being labeled as different often meant being subjected to inhumane treatment. Chapter 3: The Legend of Drinking Chicken Blood. Among the many tales of Lo Ting, one of the most frequently mentioned and most unsettling is the claim that they drank chicken blood. According to legend, they would sometimes exchange fish for chickens with villagers, or even sneak into farms to steal chickens and drink their blood. This detail spread widely, yet few ever questioned it. Why chickens? If Lo Ting were truly savage monsters, the stories could have easily portrayed them as man-eaters or murderers. But none of the records do so. They are only said to drink chicken blood or steal poultry. This is an extremely precise form of historical stigmatization, disturbing enough to provoke disgust, yet not severe enough to invite sympathy. Drinking chicken blood may not have been meant to create fear, but distance. It positioned them in an ambiguous space, not dangerous like beasts, yet not human enough to deserve understanding. A presence that could be expelled, excluded, and ignored. And behind these stories, could it be that what was truly being concealed was simply a group of people who lived by fishing, who called the sea their home? Their way of life clashed with land-based agricultural civilization, and so they were rendered as outsiders. Once a group is described as living on blood, they no longer need to be regarded as part of human history. Chapter 4: The One Who Was Captured Learned How to Be Human. Several ancient texts recount a similar episode. A female Lo Ting was captured. She was taken ashore. At first, she could not speak and only laughed. This detail appears repeatedly across different versions, as if it were an accepted trait. The story then continues. Over time, she learned to wear clothes, to eat grains, and even to speak Chinese. This passage is often treated as a triumph of civilization, but it is, in truth, a sanitized account of cultural erasure. In Guangdong Sanyu, the line, "Those who obtained a female would engage in indulgence with her," is written casually, yet it carries immense weight. It is a clear statement of power. She was treated as a body to be used, one that required no consent or response. Because she could not speak and only laughed, none of the actions imposed upon her were ever questioned. This implication is echoed decades later in the Hong Kong film Three Husbands. The character Siu Mui speaks very little. Her existence is conveyed mainly through her body, desire, and the gaze of others. She does not explain herself, nor is she allowed a full voice. Her silence mirrors the laughing, speechless Lo Ting woman of the ancient text in a deeply unsettling way. Chapter 5. After the Purge, only legends remained. In the third year of the Qing Yuan era of the Southern Song dynasty, 1197, the authorities launched a military purge in the Daikai mountain region. Officially, it was to suppress illegal salt trading and quell rebellious islanders. But later rumors linked the operation closely to the disappearance of the Lo Ting. Some accounts claimed the Lo Ting were wiped out entirely. Others suggest that survivors intermarried with the Tang people, the indigenous boat-dwelling communities of Hong Kong, their bloodlines diluted and the name erased. Regardless of which version is true, the outcome is the same. Lo Ting ceased to exist as a named people, surviving only as fragments of legend. That is why later texts no longer grant them a place in history, only an image. They were recast as half-human, half-fish creatures, monstrous beings of a folklore. These depictions may appear fantastical, but their message is chillingly clear. This group was no longer permitted to be human. History had completed its most ruthless act. It did not need to eliminate every outsider. It only needed to make people forget they ever existed. Chapter 6. In 1993, they say one was really caught. In 1993, South China Morning Post reported that fishermen in Aberdeen, Hong Kong claimed to have captured an unknown creature, which some elders privately referred to as Lo Ting. There was no follow-up, no photographs, no investigation. The incident faded away, but it remains one of the very few modern records that explicitly mentioned Lo Ting. Of course, such reports are not uncommon in modern society. They surface briefly, then disappear, as if they had never existed at all. If Lo Ting truly went extinct long ago, then what was caught? If they were nothing more than legend, why do so many texts describe them so consistently? Perhaps what is truly unsettling is not the possibility that some unknown being still existed beneath the sea, but that we have grown accustomed to calling uncomfortable history a legend, and erased peoples, monsters. The next time you visit Hong Kong and take a boat past Lantau Island, pay attention. What you see, is it a white dolphin or Lo Ting?
I'm Kim. Please subscribe, like, and share. And stay with me. You'll never face the dark unknown.